I'm creating an army of the runtiest orcs I can find in Middle-earth.
Way bigger than I thought!
And they're gonna take on a mad tyrant overlord. And maybe together, they can go from runt to riches and claim his fort for themselves.
Better look out! You better look out!
I travelled to Nornan. This land had been plagued for too long by a rampant overlord. One of the most powerful members of the Painted clan. I summoned my poison grog to travel to the front gate in style. I was searching for a leader of runts. Someone that knew the fortress, and could inspire a runt army. Here was the fortress in question. A beautiful design, made mostly of the bones of the fallen. A mixture of orcs, men, and beast bones. All had come up against this fort, and lost. And in losing they became a part of the fort. This is what the mad tyrant willed. Douche, the betrayed. One of the most powerful members of the Painted clan. He had been entrusted with this area, and until now he had held it, along with his trusted orcs. Two-Horned the Wicked, a master of the crossbow. Og, Bloodstorm, a very distant relative of Bagabug. Another douche, this time a gambler orc. Mog the Corruptor, a truly evil orc. And finally Gash the Flesh Lover. These were the captains my runts were going to go up against. And speaking of that, I had to get their attention. I sacrificed my elemental grog, and two potential leaders came running over. I took a closer look, and decided they were perfect, both of them. Either of them. Look at them. Runts, through and through. Ugly as hell, and weak as hell. I equipped my weak armor so they could kill me. What would these beautiful runtish orcs become? Would they become the leader I need to take down Douche the Painted? But then I was ambushed.
Your time has come! Beg for what's left of your life!
Rug the Manbreaker. He'd come to spoil my fun. He knew I was making a cool runtish orc captain. He knew I'd come to take the fort. I quickly shot him off his Caragor. I couldn't let him get in the way of my experiment, of me creating the perfect runtish orc. With Rug pinned, the orcs kept hitting me, until one finally prevailed. Would he become the runt that I need? Would he even be a runt? Or would he become too powerful? I mean, just look at him. Absolutely hideous. He dealt the finishing blow, and we got to hear his beautiful runtish voice.
Worthy of recognition. They'll promote me for this.
Basic dialogue. But what would he become? Will he be cool? Will he be a cool runt? Oh, he looks very cool. Yes. The sneak. Yeah, and I suppose Rug Manbreaker also survived. Fantastic, Rug. Did a great job there. Really survived. So I hunted the sneak down. I found this massive scroll he left on the floor, and from that I was able to follow his footprints. I followed these footprints for hours, days, weeks, months, years. Did I say weeks? Until I came across this sneak.
So you're back for more, eh? Not that I mind.
But would he have the right kind of runtish strength that I'm looking for? I used my explosive attack, and he immediately threw his throwing knives through the explosion to down me in one shot. And then he killed me with no chance. Sorry, I should say he killed me with a no-look, no chance. Which just adds insult to injury.
The Overlord says jump, and I say how high. He says kill the Tark, and I say already done, Overlord. That's how you get ahead.
This was no runt. This orc one-shot me, and then had no chance and killed me. He is not a runt. I respawned absolutely disgusted by this non-runtish orc. He'd somehow become amazing. He was not fit to lead my runt army. But it was okay. I had another runt in mind.
Look out! You better look out!
Zune Lookout. One of my all-time favourite runts. He was hunting dangerous beasts. He'd be perfect to lead my runt army. He fired his first shot and hit them directly. Maybe he was too good to lead the army. He fired a second shot and missed completely. There's the old lookout that I knew. And there goes his third shot, another complete miss. Yes. He'll do, he'll do. Look at him take forever to kill this Caragor. How many shots will it take? His grunt had to come in and help him. There you go, his grunt killed it for him. All of his followers are also fellow runts. I finished off the last Caragor. God only knows how long it would have taken them. After the slaughtering was over, I spoke to Zune Lookout. I told him, here mate, we've got a wee fortress here he's got to paint it in charge. I need your help here. I need you to gather some runty runts for your army. You know, you want to be rich or not? He agreed to set out and find runts for me. He said he'll be on the lookout for runts. It wasn't long until Zune contacted me.
Look out! You better look out!
He'd gathered up his runtish orcs to do a grog hunt, including one orc that caught my eye.
Way bigger than I thought!
Honestly, the voice of that grunt was so good, I really wanted to recruit him, but I didn't know how I would actually do that. So, sadly, couldn't get that guy. Also, he just got eaten. Yeah. The Mad Eye Orc ran in, while Zune stayed behind firing arrows and missing. The Mad Eye looked to be crushed by the grog, but he actually dodged it and went between his legs. He was feisty. He could be in the grunt army. The grog was weakening from poison. The runts were doing it. They were getting stronger. Just look at this beast go down. Zune firing his arrows from behind one of his grunts. A classic runt maneuver. The grog finally succumbed to the poison. I then had a chat with Mad Eye. I told him I'd had my eye on him a very long time. I thought he had an eye for killing. I said that I love him. He loved everything that I said, and he agreed to fight in the runtish army. Lookout informed me that one of his runts was in the forests, gathering supplies for his brew. I found him in a nearby cave, hunting a grog. A poison grog. This was the brewer, and he was looking for exotic ingredients for his poisons and tonics. And his beer. He makes a lot of spirits with grogs. It's actually very strong. It's quite pretty good actually, yeah. Makes a few good cocktails. Makes a lot of absinthe as well. It's pretty good. You should try it, honestly. I stepped in to help him kill the grog. I thought this would win him over. The grog fell, disintegrated into particles that the brewmaster could then put into his bottles. He was a happy brewmaster, and he had that explosion runtish look about him. I told him that in the battle to come there'll be plenty of opportunity for him to get more supplies for brewing. He agreed to join the runt army. I travelled to the most dangerous forest in Middle-earth in search of my next runt, where I was immediately confronted by caragors, spiders, ghouls, and grogs. I used my ringwraith powers to escape before being confronted by the runt that I was searching for.
Oh, you like to beat up on those who can't defend themselves, is that it?
I like that too. I'll show you how much.
After I render you defenseless!
The Obsessed. An orc completely obsessed with myself, and I can't really blame him. I'm epic. We had an epic fight in the forest, and the caragors were coming out like crazy. This honestly is just a really horrible part of the map. Like, this forest has just everything. Everything horrible in the game resides in this forest, including the Obsessed. He calls me lovers, you know? What's going on there? Like, clearly something's going on with this orc. Like, he may not be a runt in stature, but there's definitely something going on there with his brain, you know? You know, lads? Anyway, I use the old threshing sword here to get the advantage of it. It stuns him. He takes me down. We're having a bit of a fight here. There's more creatures coming in. More explosive attacks going on here. I'm getting the better of him slowly. He's not armor-proof, so he was always going to lose this fight. I pin him to the ground, get the threshing sword out. I'm giving him the punishment he always wanted, you know? He probably enjoys this sick orc. This sick runt. Eventually, after hours and hours of fighting, he's had enough. He's ready to be talked to. He's ready to be recruited.
You cannot stand. At my side you will fight.
You cannot break me!
Cowardly orc.
He's being stubborn. He wants me to fight him again. He wants round 2. I travel out of the forest in order to find him again. He clearly hates the forest now after that encounter. I try to sneak up on him, but he always knows when I'm around.
When you shamed me, you showed me what true pain is. I'll never be rid of that feeling. And neither will you!
Yeah, as creepy as ever. Ooh, look at that sprint, my goodness. Look at this sprint, this freeze frame right now. He takes an arrow to the head because of that sprint. And then he gets to work using his trickster powers. He'll make a very good member of the team. I love a trickster orc. But not in that way, not in that way. Not in the way that he wants. No. Definitely. Definitely not, mister. I absolutely smash his face off here with my threshing sword. Look at that shot there. This game is so beautiful. And then he's ready to be dominated. I mean, spoken to. A stern speaking to, yes, that's what I meant. I agree to give him a hug if he joins my runtish army. Overjoyed, he runs off to practice on his pillows. Hugging, I mean, of course. For the next runt, I need someone who knows the front gates of the fort. This orc will do. He has the look of a runt about him. He hits me once. He hits me twice. He hits me a third time. I'm gonna speed up this next part, guys. It takes a very long time. Like, actually death by 1,000 cuts. He takes a very long time, my goodness. He hits me so many times. Finally, he gets me down. But will he become the runt that I need? You'd think he would, because he literally hit me about 1,000 times to kill me.
Oh, now he's gonna promote me and everything!
We fly inside his eyeball, and he celebrates American style by firing into the air. He challenges the beast to a fight. Poor beast butcher. He's getting killed. But what's he gonna transform into? Oh, Ronk the ghoul lover. That's very cool. We could use that on our team. An army of ghouls on our side. That seems very runtish. I travel to find the ghoul lover. Then I find someone that shocks me. Massey the Massive. Of course he's in this video. He's like the king of the runts. Look at him. Beautiful. Hanging out with the ghoul lover. Best of friends. I jump down to talk to the ghoul lover. Maybe he'll join my army.
That wouldn't work on a ghoul, and it won't work. Be some more, you look familiar. Do you have a twin brother or something?
Oh, he's so hungry I've disturbed him with Massey the Massive. He does his old running backwards, firing his crossbow at me, but it's not going to work. His health instantly goes down to half with one execution. Massey gets enraged. Blood Brother Revenge? What? They're more than friends. They're blood brothers.
Don't you see how simple it is? All of it's so very, very simple.
This runtish ghoul lover has just bonded with one of my most legendary orcs. One of the originals, Massey the Massive. I'm in complete shock. I can't believe Massey the Massive has a blood brother. God, I can't believe he didn't invite me to their wedding either. What the hell? I basically started this group and I don't get invited to the wedding? What is going on? The fight continues in these very close quarters. Someone's put a banner down so the orcs are going crazy like they're on bath salts from Florida. I need to get one explosive attack off. There we go. Clear the way. The ghoul lover's ready to be taken. He's ready to be shamed. I need to get his level down. He's currently level 85. That won't do. After that I can deal with Massey. Now to deal with Massey the Massive. He has his iron guard guarding him. Look at that face. God, he's handsome. I quickly deal with his guard by using my fire elven light on the floor. Massey the Massive goes up in flames. And right when I'm getting ready to dominate him, look, he shows up again.
My blood brother will kill you, but he won't do it alone.
Enraged by me attacking his blood brother Massey. But he talks for me for too long, and by the time I look over my shoulder, Massey the Massive has already burnt to a crisp. I start panicking looking for him. Where's Massey gone? How has this happened? And then I find his body, crumpled in the corner. His face, completely burned, on fire. My handsome boy, my handsome Massey the Massive is gone. And the ghoul lover's to blame. He definitely took my focus off of Massey. If he hadn't have come back, ambushed us, and then gotten enraged, this wouldn't have happened. Massey burnt like a crisp. Just look at this poor bastard. Look at him. I use Elven Light again to clear away some of the grunts. It lights up the ghoul lover. I use my chain explosive attack to get the rest of his health down, as well as another Elven Light to clear out his iron guard. Finally, amongst all the fire, I'm able to dominate the ghoul lover. I convince him that if he helps me take this fort, that will create a safe haven for all ghouls. He quite frankly loves this idea, and agrees to join.
I am yours.
I return to have one final look at Massey's body, but it's already gone. What happened to Massey the Massive? And will he return? On a side note, he just collapsed onto a crate of fish. Very strange, Massey. Very strange. I hope you do come back, Massey. R.I.P. Massey the Massive. I leave this area absolutely furious, and I come across another orc. A poor bastard orc. I was about to murk this orc for Massey the Massive.
You hurt my insides! Now it's my turn, and I guarantee I'll do a much more thorough job.
Push Crimp the Serpent. He had no idea what kind of rage I had from losing Massey the Massive. He had no idea he was about to be murked. In true FAsterisks fashion, I waited for him, at the top of a tower. You guys know what's about to happen, right? Look at him, climbing the ladder. He thinks he's gonna get me? Oh, you fool! You thought you'd come up this tower and get me? Nope. But you are gonna learn to fly. Goodbye, the serpent. To be fair though, look how cool this shot is with him in. I mean, that looks absolutely beautiful. Cue scream in 3, 2, 1. Anyway, back to the runts. I'd gotten word from Zun and the brewer that they had a new runt they wanted to show me.
You lot call this a camp? I've seen better looking truck.
They were ambushing this poor orc.
Quiet for a moment more, boys. Then, well, you can roar all you want.
I was excited to see this new candidate. And as I was scanning the battlefield, an orc caught my eye. Look at how crazy he looks, my goodness. Like, he actually looks like Willem Dafoe. Like, seriously. I was shocked to find out that he wasn't the orc I was being introduced to. It was the cook. Zun's personal cook. And yes, he looks like a runt. Look at him. Definitely a runt. But how would he fight? Would he prove himself to be worthy of being a runt in my army? I jumped in immediately, destroying the fireplace, causing spiders to swarm all over.
Of course you show up. Just as we're getting attacked by a bunch of mud-eating maggots. Fine. We'll just kill the lot of you.
I thought it was going to be easy, until...
The overlord says he's got a grave dug, all ready for you to walk into. Because you're the grave walker, eh?
Roog the Manbreaker, giving me a message from Douche the Painted? Douche must know that we're coming after him. He must know that I'm building an army. That message was very fitting. I get to work fighting, while also watching to see what my runts are gonna do. I hadn't seen the cook do anything yet. Will he prove himself? Here he goes now. Oh, he's he's terrified. He's leaving. He's leaving. And thus he proved himself to be a true runt. He will make an amazing addition to my army whenever I catch up to him. I use my elven light to clear a path. Much to my shock, Roog the Manbreaker was also running. I catch up to him. He just loves to keep ambushing me. He loves to just keep coming into my life here. I'm gonna sink a few arrows into his head. There we go. He's ready to be shamed. And he really deserves this. I make him remember all the embarrassing things he did when he was at school. The things that keep you up at night when you're just trying to sleep. After I traumatized Roog, I ran back to the fight. I used my threshing sword to absolutely destroy the gambler. Though I don't think the brewer needed my help. He was enraged. Probably enraged because I shamed that guy and he ran away when the brewer wanted to use him in some of his delicious brews. But not to worry. The brewer would get this corpse instead. He started to cook the enemy orc before dealing the final blow. I thanked the brewer and the lookout for introducing me to the cook. He ran away, which shows me he's a true runt. and is perfect for our army. And with that, our forces were complete. I could already feel Douche trembling in his boots. Zune the Lookout, the leader of my runts, an absolute legend. Stakuga the Obsessed, I don't need to say anything about him. Garl the Mad Eye, Nakra the Cook, basically Aaron Paul, Zuka the Brewer, and Ronk the Ghoul Lover. Together we were ready to take on this mad titan and claim this fort for the runts. My army was ready. Look at them. Thousands came to support the runts.
Word travels fast in Mordor, pigskin! You got your noses rubbed in schrock, and I think you got to like the smell! Here we favour the smell of blood, rich and red and squirting! Other forts take no prisoners! But we are fond of them, are we not? We have such dark, delicious plans for them! March closer, invaders! March into our waiting arms! Better look out!
You better look out! If this fool thinks his signs and visions will stop us from taking his fort, he must have guts where his brain should be!
My army of runts charged in. I immediately destroyed both of the catapults. I then jumped down to see what the first wave of defense would be, and there he was, the man-breaker, Roog, along with Mug the Corruptor, and the failed runt, the Sneak. He could have been the leader of my forces. He could have been the first runt. But instead he was too strong, and he had no chance. And he could one-shot me, with his throwing knives. I had to be careful, but luckily the cook had already showed up. It was a bit of a mad fight for the first point, to be honest. Lots of their orcs. There was actually 4 of their orcs against my army of runts here. But I was able to clear them out, and then I went after Roog the Manhunter, who retreated almost immediately. I would have taken great pleasure in killing him now, but I had to run back because some of my runts were down, and I couldn't let them die. They only get to die a true runt's death, which is falling down a very small ledge that would normally just sprain their ankle, but instead in this game, it kills them. That is a true runt's death. I quickly finish off Moog the Corruptor. My runts are not going to be corrupted. I think, how do you corrupt a runt? Is it you make him really, really good? You give him lots of muscle and skill? Is that how you corrupt a runt? I got 2 of my runts up, and then I was joined by an army of ghouls, courtesy of the Ghoul Lover. The Sneak also took this chance to run off. I'll see you later, Sneak. Maybe he could have been in my army, with all of this retreating he does. Things were going well for the runt army. We smashed through another point, before coming across the Torturer, and of course, the Gambler. Good to see you again, douche. I immediately shot him off his Caragor, before confronting him face to face.
I know you like turning this crew, but that saves me the trouble of testing their loyalty myself. By showing me the bad fruit, you're making my ranks stronger.
Little does he know I've come here with an army of bad fruit. The bad fruit are finally getting revenge. It's at this point where I start thinking, like, so many of their orcs are running. Do I have the runt army? Or do they have the runt army? I start to shame the Torturer, before realizing I actually don't want to do that. I want to just kill him outright. I plunge my foot directly through his chest. Look at that. Straight through. I chased him far, so I have to sprint back to my runts. Few of them are down. Am I going to make it in time? Yes! Just about. My god. That was actually very close. I quickly take this point. Get out my runt army. We have work to do. It's definitely become a bit of a trend of my army where they run in and 2 of them will just instantly be downed. Like, it's definitely a true runt army. Apart from the obsessed there, who just picks up orcs left, right and centre and slams them into the ground. Let's take a look at who we're fighting here. We're fighting the Flesh Lover, finally. Oh, and Ashgarn the Nightmare. Is he going to be a nightmare or is he going to run away? Let me just get 2 of my lads up here. Ashgarn's come in. He's taken me out while I've been distracted by my runts.
What's you are squirting blood all over the place? But get up! You got plenty!
I can't believe he's humiliated me like that. He is going to live to regret that, mark my words. I quickly get up my runs before taking the courtyard.
Have to do this for the pride.
Oh, the weaponsmith! The weaponsmith of the Runt army has betrayed them and he has joined the side of the Runts. He's realised that the Painted is a tyrannical leader and he has to take him down. No longer will he make weapons for the Painted. For some reason, after humiliating me, Ashgarn ran all the way over here, so I'm hunting him down. I'm putting arrows into his skull. There we go. I mean, into the skull that he's wearing on his head. I then run over because I can see that 3 of my runts are down. But I'm going to first of all smash down this gate. And inside, the weaponsmith is going to work. He's just killed a hoglick. Very good work there, weaponsmith. With my poison grog, I then smash down this gate before jumping off and absolutely murking this orc right here. Goodbye, Flesh Lover. I then get up my 3 runts. Get back into the fight, lads, we need you. I get out my bow and just plunge arrows into the head of this poor orc, absolutely destroying him. Goodbye, the wicked. I hardly knew you. I can see the cook doing his famous run backwards and throw spears maneuver. I take the point quickly. We're moving on, lads. We're absolutely smashing our way through this fort. Sorry, lads, but I'm going to have to block this bit here because it's big spoilers for the rebellion. You know, in the next rebellion, I will reveal what is going on here. But, you know, that video will be out soon. Back to the front of the throne room. I'm just smashing through this orc. There we go. The hatchet just got absolutely murked. And just like that, my runs had done it. They'd gotten me all the way to the throne room. All the way to my one-on-one duel. My beautiful runs. We'd done it together. I headed into the throne room. All that was left was to destroy this douche.
Execute you already? Never mind. Come on up and I'll finish the job.
A mad tyrant of an orc. And you can absolutely tell by his throne room. Look at these bones. Pretty beautiful sculptures, but also made of bone, so a bit of a red flag. And he's guarded by a very high level infernal orc. This is a very strong clan of orc that we've not seen very much of. The fiery infernals. I'd have to get past him to kill douche. In my ear I could hear the voice of Joffrey. Off with their heads. With douche down and his front line taken out, I was able to focus on the Infernal. But as I was coming out of my arrow focus attacks, douche tackled me. He went in for the killing blow, but luckily I was able to counter it. I used my explosive attack to try and get some damage on them. This worked well, and put them on the back foot. I then tried to build an army for myself, inside the throne room, using the corpses of his fallen soldiers. But this only enraged them. Fighting in the corner was not going to get me anywhere, especially when they were this angry. The Infernal was especially angry. He would chase me across the throne room, while trying to satisfy his rage. Exhausted from running around the room, the Painted's rage strikes finally found their target. I was downed, but not out yet. But then, out of nowhere, the Infernal charged. Rage in his eyes, he took out Douche with one massive flaming spear blow to his back. Was this an act of sheer rage, or was this the beginnings of a clan war? After Douche fell, the Infernal fled.
We have reclaimed what was rightfully ours! Let the Lord of Mordor be warned! Every attack he launches will be met with steel and fury! Every army he sends will be annihilated!
The Runts had done it. They finally had a fort to call their own, and it would become a safe haven for Runts all across Middle-earth. The Painted Overlord was defeated, and the region was claimed in the name of the Runts. In the rubble of the fortress, I named my new overlord. There could be only one, Zune the Lookout. He graciously accepted the post. I mean, I think he did. I still don't really know what he says. I can't really speak to him. We're just not on the same wavelength, you know? Just don't have the same vibe. Along with Zune, the rest of the Runt captains got turned into warchiefs. The cook, taking his rightful spot, he would continue to create delicious meals for the entire fort. The ghoul lover, his ghouls would provide protection for the fortress. Mad Eye, he would provide lots of puns to keep people entertained, but there were still some loose ends to deal with before we could call this new area a safe haven for Runts. The Obsessed had tracked down the Manbreaker. I jumped in to help. The Manbreaker deserved this. How many times had he ambushed me while I was trying to make my Runt army? Do it! Because of my brutal shamings, he had gone completely crazy. I hit him with the old poison elven light, and the Obsessed jumped on the opportunity to pick him up and give him the old WWE wrestling move where he slams him straight into the floor. The Bag of Special. When you get hit by that, it just shocks your entire body, which is why the Manhunter is trying to retreat. But the Obsessed wasn't done. Hitting him with another one, he sent ripples through the entire land. The Manhunter, in shock, tries to run past him, dodging his first blow and countering the next. But as he runs off, the Obsessed uses his Jedi teleporting power and hits him in the back, smashing his head into the ground repeatedly before slicing the back of his neck like a true Jedi. The Manhunter was finally dead, one of the first orcs that ambushed me in these lands. He'd been a thorn in my side for a very long time, and maybe, just maybe, the Obsessed would get his hug. But not yet. There were still more loose ends to kill. I was hunting for the orc that could have been in charge of my forces.
Stay alert, boys. It's almost too quiet around here. Sneak attack on my signal, just like we planned.
Hi there! You're strutting around like you own Mordor, douche. But I know every one of your secret fears.
The Obsessed timed his attack perfectly, and he brought along one of the shamed bruises as backup. The fight was on. I jumped in to focus on the sneak. I didn't want him sneaking off again.
You maggot! First raiders and now a ranger! Fine, we'll do it just like we practiced.
While the battle was raging on, the gambler was far away, firing arrows at us, as if he had a sniper in his hands. Past him we could spot the shamed Bruise, running off into the hills. I landed a few good blows on the sneak.
This isn't going to plan! Catch him up!
He tried to retreat, but he wasn't going to escape this time. I was able to finish him off with my dagger, plunging it directly into his neck. Finally, the orc that started it all. The orc that I'd found at the front of the gates. The orc that could have been great. He could have been my captain. I'd finally come full circle and killed the monster that I'd brought into being. The last loose end didn't take long to find and kill. Myself and the Obsessed cornered the gambler.
I underestimated this time.
He tried to retreat, but there was no getting away from this. The Obsessed, using his sword to trip him up before smashing his head into the floor and then dealing the final blow. Look at the crazed look on his face. He truly loves doing this. He truly loves killing for me. And with that, the lands were safe for runts everywhere to flock to. We could make this a real safe haven for them. And maybe the Obsessed would get his hug. But I couldn't help but think about the Infernal and how he had just turned on his master and killed the Painted. Would this lead to a war between the Infernals and the Painted Orcs? Thanks for watching this video, guys. I have a lot of fun making these Run to Riches videos, you know. Maybe you can tell when I do the voiceover. It's just a lot of fun, you know. Going a little bit weird with it. And you know, if you're not already subscribed, you know, what are you doing? Subscribe to me. Like, what are you doing? Did you not enjoy that? You're here right now. Like, come on. Hit that like button. Comment down below what else you want to see. You know, what direction do you think this Runt Fortress should go in? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, lads.